This week on The Watchman, we are on the walls of Jerusalem as we take you on a journey through 3,000 years of history of God's city. From King Hezekiah to Herod the Great to the Maccabees up until the modern day, our good friend Yoel Freiman shows us where Jerusalem has been, where it's heading, and why it all matters to you. These walls will talk this week, only right here on The Watchman.
Eric, where I'm taking you now, nobody has a permission to go. Only you now. This is the ancientest place in Jerusalem. I'm going to show you the most beautiful thing in Jerusalem today. Not many people come down here. Not many people come down here.
But we have a special permission, Yoel. You pulled some strings.
I pulled some strings, especially for you.
Yeah, and here we are, exclusive access to what many have called the most important archaeological discovery of the 20th century.
That's exactly how Professor Nachman Avigad, the professor who dug Jerusalem, that's how he declared. All his life, he was looking for this wall. And he found the wall that shows that the city of David was a very large, big city of a very big kingdom. King David, if we look at the map up there, you see it's written down there, the city of David, which was a very small town, including even the Temple Mount. But then after David, Shlomo, and the kings that came after him expanded the city, and the city grew to the western hill, right down there. Now you understand where we are standing? This is Jerusalem,
Yes.
and this is outside of the city.
2,600, 2,700.
2,700 years ago. This is this red line that you see over here.
Yeah.
The wall that was built by Hezekiah, this is this wall. You are standing on the original wall from that time.
2,700 years ago, built by the one and only King Hezekiah, one of the good kings.
One of the good kings, right.
We're here right now.
And we know the story of Lachish. You told the story of Lachish. Sancherib, soldiers were standing out there. The Assyrian Empire was standing out there, screaming to the Jews inside the city, give up. But King Hezekiah turned to the wall and he prayed to the Lord.
Yes, he did.
So now, if you look up from 2700 BCE to 2019 nowadays, look at these houses. You can see very well they were built after 1967.
Yes.
Modern houses, right? But you understand that when we came to Jerusalem, we means us, Israelis, Jews that have a state now.
Back to your ancestral
After
and
a
eternal capital.
great victory in 1967, the 6 Days War. And the Lord gave us Jerusalem back. But we come to the old city of Jerusalem. The Jewish quarter is destroyed. Almost 75% of the houses are destroyed. But for the archaeologists, it's the gift from God. Nothing to disturb them from digging and finding, and they found all the most beautiful things that you have shown already, you're going to see today. But when Professor Nachman Avigad, in blessed memory, found this wall, he declared that this is the greatest archaeological discovery of the 20th century.
Greater than Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. Why? Because this shows that the kingdom of David was a big kingdom. The city was a big city. It was not a small town. So you were in the city of David, and you saw that the building that they say it's the palace of King David.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Elat Mazar, she found, it was found before, but she declared this is the palace of King David. But there are people who are sitting in Tel Aviv, very famous professors for archaeology. They say, no, show us a proof.
And by the way, this wall, Yoel, this is thick, this is wide.
This is thick, this is wide, this was very tall. Look out there on that sign, 24 feet high.
Wow. Jerusalem then was a majestic city just as it is today.
That's right, just as it is today, and we hope they will remain that way and grow bigger. We are going to go from here to see a place where they bury the dead, the way they bury the dead, in the wall or near the wall of the walls, because we are going to walk on the walls of the old city of today, which was very similar to the walls of the old city of Jerusalem those days, and we'll see there. And we walk on the walls and we see the city of Jerusalem from above, like we're seeing the city of Jerusalem from below here.
Yoel, if these walls could talk, wow, what a way to start today's journey.
They would scream.
Yes, they would. What a way to start today's journey. Hey, 2,700 years ago, First Temple period, the original walls of Jerusalem built by King Hezekiah. I don't know how we can top this, but I think we will. Let's go to our next site right now. Yoel, lead the way.
All right.
With over 7 million members, Christians United for Israel is America's largest pro-Israel organization. And for Zion's sake, we will not keep silent. We are educating and empowering millions of Americans to stand with Israel, our greatest ally in the Middle East. The United States and Israel not only share common enemies, we also share common values. At QAEDA, we're speaking with one unified voice to strengthen the indispensable U.S.-Israel alliance. We're fighting against the rising tide of anti-Semitism and making an impact for Israel in communities, the media, on campus, and in our nation's capital. And we need your help. To support the work of Christians United for Israel, visit cufi.org or call the phone number that you see there on your screen. God promises a blessing to those who bless Israel. So join our movement and take a stand for God's land.
Yoel, you took us 2,700 years back at the original walls built by King Hezekiah outside of the city of David. Now we're moving forward in history a little bit, but not too much. Where are we right now?
We are now, above us is the wall of the city of Jerusalem that was built by the Sultan, the Turkish Sultan. You know his name?
Suleiman the Magnificent.
That's right, Suleiman the Magnificent. Look at the magnificent wall Suleiman had built. But down below, we see bedrock down below here, all by bedrock. On top of the bedrock, we see stones that are from a different period, which is the Hellenistic period, Hasmonean period, which is actually the foundation of the wall that was built by Suleiman.
Now this is about 2,200 years ago, the time of the Maccabees.
That is right. This is bedrock, and there are square walls in the bedrock. So the bedrock is original, right? If it is original, how come that it is square? I mean, nature doesn't make this.
No.
So this was made by men.
Now, Yoel, when you say ancient, you mean 2,700 years ago.
That's what I mean. We came from the big wall 100 years ago, and this is also from the same time, approximately.
First Temple period.
First Temple period, definite.
Hezekiah, the prophet Isaiah.
That's right. And that's how they buried people those days. They would put the man that died inside. They would cover the entrance that no animals would be able to enter. They come after a year, they collect the bones that are left. And they add it to the pile of bones of his fathers and his ancient fathers right over there. It's written in the Bible, in the books of prophets, that the king, when he died, he would be buried with his fathers and the fathers before. So that's exactly how they did it. Some places they did, you know, the cave is inside, but there will be what you can see here. This is the bedrock, and probably also was the same here. There was a wall above, there were walls, and body will be put here, and then it will put inside with the bones of these fathers and ancient fathers.
Yeah.
We found in that other cave that I told you about, we found a very beautiful little piece of silver. On that piece of silver are written the words in Hebrew. Yevarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Hashem panav elecha v'ychoneka. Yisa Hashem panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. You know these words in English.
Yes, that is the priestly blessing.
That's right. Also 2,700 years ago. You can find it in the Israeli Museum. Very beautiful piece of work found in a cave like this.
Let's go up a level here on the old city walls. Above that, the Hasmoneans, the Maccabee period.
The Maccabee period.
2,200 years ago or so?
2,300 years ago, right.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about that period.
King Alexander the Great, everybody heard that name, Alexander the Great, conquers the world, bringing news. I have a new culture to bring to the world. The Hellenism way of life is the way of the body. Eat and drink, enjoy life of the physical world. Whereby the Jews look also for the spiritual part, for the part of the soul, as we call it. The soul needs different food. So there was a big discussion between the Greek wanted the Jews to accept their culture. And the Jews did not accept their culture. They tried to force them, started a war. The Maccabees were the leaders of this war.
Judah the Hammer.
Judah the Hammer, his father Matityahu and all the brothers, and they won the war. One little mistake. The Maccabees were priests. They were supposed to serve in the temple, and they took the kingdom. And from that time on, it was a little way down. And then, when they started to go down, they bring the Romans in. And the Romans were here for 700 years.
Jerusalem has been conquered and reconquered, but the Jewish people are back here, never to be uprooted again from their ancient and ancestral capital. But before we got to that glorious moment in 1967, Yoel, we had also the Ottoman period here, which we see in front of us.
Right.
Tell us about the walls of Suleiman the Magnificent.
Well, when Suleiman the Magnificent once starts, after he's a magnificent sultan, so he wants to show his greatness. So he builds on top of the old walls his new wall. He built a very wonderful wall. You can see the wall from here. Yeah. You see the cracks for those shooters, the arrow shooters there, right up there, you see?
You can see it.
And in the gates are also very beautiful. And from above, you can see the length of the wall, which was, the city of Jerusalem inside is only 1 square kilometer. It's a huge wall. Very, very massive.
And that's the most recent wall.
Yes.
That people are seeing right now, the uppermost wall here from Suleiman, 1600s AD.
Right. 1530s, he started to build the wall. It took him 20 years. And you see what they did, also very interesting about that, the stones that they've used. The city was destroyed many times. Yeah. Many stones from different periods. And the part of the wall over there, you can see a stone that belonged to the 10th Roman legion in the war of Suleiman. Yes. When we go to the southern part, we'll see also that he used all kinds of stones to build this wall, but it is a magnificent work.
Yeah, as you said, Yoel, layer after layer after layer. We're going through 2,700 years of history right here, just in this one spot outside the old city walls. From Hezekiah to the Maccabees to the Ottomans, and then today. Now we're going to scale these walls. We're going to go above and look down. Where are we going next?
We are going next to climb to the Tower of David, walk on the walls, see this area that you see here.
Yeah.
On this side, they call the Valley of Hinnom.
Yeah, we can see Jerusalem today thriving and bustling. The Jewish people are back, and they're here to stay.
They're here to stay.
Yoel, lead the way. Let's go to our next spot.
How magnificent is that?
Yes, it is. Now that's magnificent.
Right.
To make a difference, you first need the facts. QAEDA's new in-depth primers provide the information you need to be a knowledgeable defender of Israel. Get informed about the Iranian regime and its deadly proxies, Hezbollah and Hamas. Discover more about Israel's biblical claim to their ancient land and to the city of Jerusalem. And learn how you can help fight the alarming rise of anti-Semitism in the United States and around the world. These free digital primers are an invaluable resource that will help you make the case for Israel knowledgeably to your friends, family, and coworkers. At QAEDA, we believe in utilizing our resources to maximize each and every Christian's support for Israel. Visit www.kufi.org/digital-primers to receive your free digital copy of Kufi's primers. Add your voice to a movement of over 7 million Christians speaking out for Zion's sake.
Well, Yoel, we have a spectacular view of Jerusalem right now, high atop the old city walls. Set the scene for us. Where are we right now?
We are from this side looking at Mount Zion, right over here. Mount Zion. In the back we saw the first house that was built outside of the old city where the borderline was. On your left side you can see the Armenian Quarter. We are just walking now on top of the palace of King Herod.
King Herod the Great, the mad king, the mad builder.
The mad builder, the mad king, right. He is the man who built the temple that we know that our sages of blessed memory said, the one who did not see King Herod's temple did not see beauty in his life. But I've heard that somebody said that the palace of King Herod was more beautiful than the temple. Yes. Well, why is that, you know? Because Herod loved Herod more than anything in the world. Herod, as we know, killed his wife, etc., killed his children, killed all the sages of blessed memory. But he has a great right. He had the right to build a temple. And
yeah, the second temple.
The second temple, and he had built himself very beautiful palaces, Caesarea,
Masada, Caesarea,
Herodian.
Yeah. He's got quite a legacy still.
That is right. But the mountain of Mount Zion is here. You know, the word Zion refers to Jerusalem. And as I told you about the secrets of the Torah, the word Zion is the inner name of the word Jerusalem.
Well, Yoel, we have an audience here. We have some great students from Israel touring the old city walls of Jerusalem. Hey, we've been talking a lot about the ancient history of Jerusalem today, the old city, the walls around this great city, first temple, second temple, but let's take it up to the current day. I'm thinking 1948, 1967, where we are standing right now, played a pivotal role in both of those conflicts. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. 1948, 1967, we are in Jordan.
This was Jordan.
This is Jordan. Behind this wall, Israel. Behind the wall is Israel. I lived not far away from here, half a mile. From 1967, I'm a 14-year-old boy. But I have no chance, no possibility to come into the old city.
You couldn't stand right here.
I couldn't stand right here. I couldn't go to the Western Wall. And I wanted to go to the Western Wall.
Of course.
So what did we do? Where I used to live, not far away, like I told you, right over there, there was barbed wire. Because it was no man's land. But we wanted to go across to be able to look down here. We used to jump over the barbed wire, you know? Now I'm in Jordan, now I'm in Israel. We literally did that. Yeah. And there were minefields.
And there were snipers.
There were snipers.
On these very walls, right? Jordanian snipers.
Right. But we were a bit far, half a mile.
Okay.
From that. Okay. So we knew that. But there were minefields.
Yeah.
But we knew exactly where they were. But we went and we have these 300 yards to look over the old city of Jerusalem. We were kids, not a very wise thing to do.
Yeah.
But in order to look at the old city of Jerusalem, that place that we longed so much, we said, by the river, so much to come here, to come back here. And then 1967, it did happen.
A miracle.
A miracle, what I saw with my own eyes, how it happened in 6 days, bang, and we are here. And we can go to the Western Wall, we can go to this. So the walls that we see here were separating us from this place.
And you long, the Jewish people longed for their ancestral eternal capital for 2,000 years, and you were right outside the walls.
And then the miracle happened, and we came back here, the first time in the history of the world that a nation returns to its land, to its language, to its holy places.
Only God.
Only God.
And now we have these students. You were a young boy, Yoel, 14 years old, longing to come inside these old city walls. Now we have Israeli students visiting. You see them all around us today, visiting here freely and enjoying their eternal and ancestral capital. It's a beautiful thing to see.
That is. And they don't even know what it was like. And it's so good that they can walk through this Lion Gate, Zion Gate. Lion Gate is down there. Through the gate without any fear into the holy city of Jerusalem. Remarkable thing.
How about today? How about the old city walls today? This seems like a very, very big tourist attraction and a source of pride for Israel and the Jewish people.
David Ben-Gurion, which was once upon a time the prime minister of Israel, in 1967 he was not a prime minister. He was not in the government. But he had a suggestion to destroy the walls of the old city. Really? He said, unite the city by destroying its walls. Well, there was an interesting thought, but I don't think it was practical, and I'm glad he did not do it, actually. Because here are walls inside the city that is already united. It's not any walls that separate. And although there are many religions here, and we see the Dome of the Rock, and we see the churches, here is a church here, St. James, and there is a wall, but there is no wall in the heart, and that's the most important thing. That's right. I want to continue the tour on the walls to bring you to the entrance to the holiest place in the world for us, to the entrance to the temple. So we're going to walk from here to see the original stairs that led us into the temple.
To the Holy of Holies.
To the Holy of Holies, to the presence of God Almighty.
Yoel, please lead the way.
Very well.
America would not be here without Israel and the important lessons of Jerusalem. We owe, in large part, who we are as Americans to that long-standing connection.
We stand with Israel because we believe in right over wrong, in good over evil, in liberty over tyranny.
Modern Israel is the only truly free nation throughout the entire Middle East. It has an enormous respect for religious freedom, a subject of many of our hearts these days.
CUFA has an enormous impact here in Washington, across the country, and across the world. Thank you for your willingness to stand up and engage and fight for America, fight for Israel, and fight for doing what's right.
We must say, not here, not now, not ever. Our nation stands toe-to-toe, back-to-back with the people of Israel because it's God's will.
Well, we are wrapping up here, reluctantly wrapping up, because this was quite a journey today. And hey, you saved perhaps the best for last. As a Jew, obviously, you're in the shadow of the Temple Mount. That's important to me as well as a Christian, but also as a Christian, it's pretty much a probability, very likely, that Jesus and his disciples walked up these steps where we're sitting right now. Set the scene for us. Where are we?
Well, we're on the southern stairs of the Temple Mount. Behind us was the temple. The gates are Huldah gates here, the eastern gate, over there the western gate. And until today, even the tunnels that led the people to the temple itself exist, but we cannot enter. Beneath. When you go that gate, if that wall wouldn't have been there, the gates would be open. The tunnels are still there, the original tunnels from the Second Temple.
The mysteries and the secrets beneath the Temple Mount from the time of Herod 2,000 years ago.
From the time, yeah, exactly. But imagine this, look. Years ago, when I was a child, when I grew up over there on that hill, I told you that. Yeah. I used to cross borders, go into minefields in order to look over here.
This was Jordan.
This was Jordan.
This was Jordan.
Half a mile away, where in Israel, this is Jordan.
Hard to believe, right? This is the eternal capital of Israel, the Temple Mount. But this was Jordan. It wasn't Israel.
But only for 19 years.
That's right, from 48 to 67, 1948, 1967. But still, this would have been littered between Yoel's house as a young boy and between the Temple Mount, minefields.
Minefields. But the minefields are not there. And the road is open. We've discovered all the staircase, all the pilgrim's way up to the Temple Mount. And I think there's not be a long time until those gates will be open, the pearl gates, the golden gates, to enter the Temple Mount again.
Well, Yoel, what an amazing journey you took us on today. This was fun, my friend. We will do it again here in Jerusalem very soon.
With pleasure.
Yeah, any final thoughts? Hey, good things are happening here, great things are happening, but it's only just the beginning.
Right? Like if you think about that many years ago, 50 years ago, I was standing there and I thought I will never come. How will I come to the old city of Jerusalem? How will I be able to come to the place of the temple?
Yes.
I dreamed about it. I did not think it would be real. But here we are. We are standing here, sitting here. It's open from here to there. It's open from here to everywhere.
Being excavated everywhere. New discoveries every
New
day.
discovery right now. And they found new things, new bulas, new stamps from the time 2,700 years ago. I want to tell you one thing about that. You know, to find these discoveries, bulas with the names coming from the Bible straight to your faces, we don't need this proof. But it's lovely to find it. It's sweet.
It is. To combine the truth of God's Word, the Bible, with that archaeological scientific evidence is an unbeatable combination.
Unbeatable.
Yeah, Yoel,
You're
thank
right.
you so much, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, folks. Look, God Almighty, the God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob says through the prophet Isaiah, on your walls, O Jerusalem, I have set watchmen day and night. They will never hold their peace. This show is obviously called The Watchman. We tell you to never hold your peace, and we mean it, and you can see why. So join our team at QFI. Join this movement we have built as we stand in the gap with Israel and the Jewish people for such a time as this. And we are bringing you to places, special, meaningful, holy places that you just won't see anyplace else. So thanks for joining us this week on the walls of Jerusalem. Until next time, God bless you. And remember, like the prophet said, never hold your peace.